Welcome to the Inner Chosen. I'm truly glad you're here. Let me ask you something that might hit deeper than you expect. What if the discomfort you've been feeling isn't a problem, but proof that God is moving you? If you've been sensing a strange restlessness, outgrowing people and places, or feeling like your spirit can't breathe in your old life anymore, then stay with me. Because in this video, you're going to learn why that's happening, what it means, and how to recognize as the signs that God is leading you to the place meant for your spirit. By the end, you'll have clarity you can carry, peace you can stand on, and direction you can trust. So take a deep breath, and let's begin. If you found your way here, it's because something in you recognized this moment. Not fear, not curiosity alone, recognition. There are people who can scroll past messages like this, and there are people who feel their chest tighten because it sounds like their life right now. If that's you, take a breath and stay close, because this isn't about hype, it's about clarity. You may have been feeling like you don't fit where you used to fit. The conversations feel lighter than your spirit can tolerate. The routines feel louder than your peace can handle, and what once entertained you now leaves you empty. That doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It can mean your spirit has outgrown the environment that used to hold you. When God begins to lead you, he often starts by shifting your appetite. What you crave changes. What you can tolerate changes. What you desire in people, purpose, and peace becomes more serious. That shift can feel confusing because your life looks the same on the outside, but inside, you're becoming someone new. And yes, it can feel lonely at first, because growth creates distance from what's familiar, but don't interpret that distance as rejection. Sometimes it's preparation. Sometimes it's God clearing your vision so you can finally see what you were too distracted to notice before. So if you feel pulled, stirred, and awakened, don't rush to silence it. Pay attention. God doesn't disturb your spirit to torment you. He disturbs it to move you. This is the beginning of alignment, and you're being guided toward a place that fits who you're becoming. Closed doors can feel like failure until you realize what they saved you from. You might have begged aid for something to work, prayed for it, tried harder, waited longer, and still it fell apart. But some things don't break because you weren't worthy. Some things break because God refuses to let you build your future on what would eventually weaken you. A no from God is often a form of protection you don't understand. Yet, because he can see what you can't, what would drain your calling, distort your identity, or keep your spirit in survival mode. Sometimes the door shuts because the room behind it was never meant to be your home. Only a lesson. It's hard when it feels personal, when it feels like you're being singled out for disappointment. But if you're chosen, your path will rarely look like the easiest option. Certain opportunities won't open because they would make you comfortable in a place that's too small for your assignment. And here's the truth. What God closes, he closes completely. Not to embarrass you, but to free you. Because if it stayed slightly open, you might keep going back. You might keep negotiating with what keeps hurting you. Total closure is sometimes the only way to move you forward. So don't chase what already released you. Don't beg what already ended. Let it be closed. Thank God for the door you didn't walk through, the relationship that couldn't continue, the plan that didn't survive. Because the same God who shut that door is also the God who is leading you toward the one that was made for your spirit. There's a reason you've been feeling different around people you once felt close to. It's not that you suddenly became too good for anyone. It's that your spirit is being trained to recognize what supports your calling and what secretly steals from it. When God is preparing you for a new place, he often begins by changing who you can comfortably stand beside. This season can feel like quiet loneliness, even when you're surrounded. You might notice you're more private, more selective, less interested in proving yourself. That shift can scare you because it feels like you're losing something, but sometimes what you're losing is only the version of you that needed constant validation to feel safe. Separation isn't always punishment, it's often positioning. God will pull you away from noise so you can finally hear him clearly. Because when everyone has access to you, everything has influence on you. And chosen ones can't afford to be influenced by what isn't assigned to their future. It can also expose who truly respects your growth. Some people will celebrate you from a distance. Others will pressure you to stay the same so they don't have to face their own stagnation. If your boundaries are upsetting others, it may be because your boundaries are blocking the benefits they used to get from your silence. So don't rush to fill the space just because it feels empty. Let God do the refining. Let the friendships that are meant for your next season find you there, not in your old patterns, not in your old compromises, but in the new version of you that He is shaping with intention. Have you ever felt pulled towards something you couldn't explain? Like your heart is leaning in a direction your logic can't fully justify? That's often how God speaks, through a gentle, persistent nudge that keeps returning, even when you try to ignore it. The chosen ones don't always get loud instructions. They get steady direction. Sometimes it starts as a holy curiosity. You begin thinking about a new city, a new field, a new routine, a new way of living, or you feel a quiet urge to leave behind what's familiar, even if it's comfortable. And you keep asking, why am I feeling this? But what if the feeling is the invitation? God rarely shows the full staircase. He gives one step, then another. That's why faith is required. Because the journey is not built on certainty, it's built on trust. And if you're waiting to feel completely ready before you move, you might miss the exact window God opened for your obedience. This is also why the unknown can feel intimidating. Your mind wants guarantees, but your spirit wants alignment. Your mind wants control, but God wants surrender. The pull toward the unknown is often a sign that your next season can't be reached by staying where your fear feels safe. So, if you're being drawn toward a shift, pay attention to the peace underneath the fear. Not reckless emotion, not impulsive decisions, but that calm inner knowing that keeps whispering, there's more. That whisper isn't confusion, it's direction. God doesn't always lead with urgency. Sometimes He leads with repetition. You'll notice the same idea returning to your mind, the same message showing up in different places, the same feeling rising at the same crossroads. It's like your spirit is being tapped on the shoulder again and again, not to annoy you, but to keep you from missing the turn. You may feel guided through ordinary moments, while driving, while praying, while doing something simple, when a thought lands with unusual weight and clarity. It's not loud, but it's firm. It's the kind of inner instruction that doesn't demand attention, yet somehow commands it. And the more you resist it, the more you feel that gentle pressure to listen. Sometimes God uses the smallest details to steer you. A conversation that answers a question you never asked out loud, a sudden delay that saves you from the wrong place, a quiet opportunity that appears at the exact time you were about to give up. These aren't always dramatic miracles, but they are fingerprints, signs that you are being guided with precision. And the hardest part is that you often won't understand the whole plan when you're in the middle of it. You'll only understand the next obedient move. That's why trust matters more than clarity, because God's leading is not just about where you're going, it's about who you're becoming while you follow. So, if you're sensing instruction, don't dismiss it because it's subtle. God is not absent just because He is quiet. He can lead you with peace, with patterns, with timing, and with that steady inner knowing that refuses to leave you alone until you align with it. When God is confirming your next step, your spirit will recognize it before your life fully explains it. You might still feel nervous, but deep down, there's a calm that settles beneath the fear. It's not excitement that burns out quickly. It's peace that stays. Before you go, take a quiet moment and check in with your spirit, because this isn't just a message you heard, it's a direction you can walk in. Now, I want you to participate. Choose one word that captures what God is doing in you right now. Something like alignment, peace, courage, obedience, clarity, separation, destiny, or restoration. Then, write that one word in the comments and claim it with faith. And if this video spoke to you, help it reach the people who need it next. Tap YouTube's new hype feature and support this message so it can be pushed to more hearts. Stay covered, stay focused, and remember, God is leading you to the place meant for your spirit.